Raisi K, the Raisin Man.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. As always, with me, my buddy, my co-host, my pal, my main man, Greg, on this day of the NBA Finals, Game 3. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, doing good. How are you doing? Enjoying this summer, trying to stay out of the smoke, trying to stay out of the smog.
Yeah, well, the New York City's is Chernobyl today, so
Yeah.
I haven't been outside much. I did hold a high school basketball practice outdoors yesterday, and then all of a sudden it started getting real smoky, and then today is orange. So weird things going on there. Weird things going on in the golf world, with the PGA and Liv and Rory and that whole thing. We have NBA Finals talk. I'm definitely going to talk to you about what you have tonight, maybe some parlays at the end here, how you think this series is going to go. We'll talk at the end there. But most important right now, man, even though it is June 7th, is the New York Football Jets. We have Aaron Rodgers on the screen right now. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's back. He is in action on the OTAs. His calf looks fine, although they didn't put him in the 11-on-11 just in case. They don't want anyone by his feet, which is fine. Zach Wilson had an on and off day, apparently. He looked terrible, but whatever. He looked good the other day, so we'll call it 50-50. And also today, we have something maybe we should have saw coming, where the Jets have the game August 3rd, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, and therefore the Jets are officially not going to have a mandatory camp, meaning their 3 days coming up next week is probably the last time we're going to see the Jets for an entire month. So my question to you, Greg, before we get into the hottest rumor of the day, which, is on everybody's mind regarding the running back position, how are you feeling overall? I mean, even episode 3 of Flight 23 that just came out was mostly just like a overall picture of how the offense is looking at the moment. Did a little bit of CJ Uzama, a little bit of Alan Lazard, Ruckert apparently having really good OTAs. What are your thoughts with OTAs seemingly closing up in a couple of days here? Carl Lawson also looking absolutely jacked with his new restructured contract too. What are your thoughts right now?
Dude, you kind of started off the podcast talking about like the craziness that's going on in the sports world with golf, 1-1 in the NBA Finals. So all this craziness all around. There's nothing around Jets camp, and that's the way I like it. That's the way I want it to be. That's the way I hope it stays for a long time. So, dude, I'm very happy about this offseason we've had, obviously. Everyone's staying healthy. Everyone's looking good. We got a couple contracts to clean up, a couple people to sign, hopefully, for when we're back and, getting ready for the preseason. But, I don't think there's anything crazy that I need to see out of anyone the last week that we have with these guys and OTAs. I think if everyone stays healthy, it would be nice if Zach Wilson could put string together a full good week of practice. But at this point, it is what it is. And, I just love the press conferences that I'm seeing. I love the ascension and all that stuff. But even that stuff, like you said, kind of slowed down a little bit because that's just where we're at right now as a franchise. We have, I think, huge expectations for this team. And it's the first time we've had them in my lifetime, really. And it's just, we have to wait 2 more months, to actually see a team hit the field, really 3 months until the season starts. So it's a lot of waiting and seeing. It's a lot of hoping that everyone stays healthy. It seems like everyone's gelling good, Rodgers to Wilson. We've seen that, on Twitter, all those videos and everything. So it seems like people are gelling. It seems like everything's going good. I'm very happy. What about you? Anything that you feel you have to see in the next week? Does Q Will need to get signed in the next week for you to be happy to enjoy your summer of the rest of June and July before these guys come back in August?
To be honest with you, right now, nothing will bring me down besides a major injury. Yep. So I'm happy as can be. We had a really good article from Rich Cimini come out today, talking about how kind of going a little bit into more detail about Aaron Rodgers and his commitment to the New York Jets and how he's acting, in and out of meetings just around the facility. They kind of mentioned it on the last episode of Flight 23, but this Aaron Rodgers acquisition is not only going to affect the Jets while he's here, but literally after, because before him, we didn't really know how winning NFL teams are supposed to operate. And he's kind of just showing everyone from the coaches, right? He knows Hackett, and he knows some of the players, so they're talking it out. And he's going to the third floor and the second floor. He's coaching. He's watching Zach Wilson when, even though he was hurt at the time. Meanwhile, this is like the veteran that just got caught a $60 million check, and he has $100 million coming in the next year. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to do anything. He could just go home. So that's what I'm really excited about. We have Quan Alexander on the defense. That seems to be a big question mark. Cimini also talked about that a little bit as well. How the Jets are mostly in the nickel, and therefore that's why they don't really care about the linebacker that much. Seems like Quan Alexander's asking for too much money, and I'm now starting to see the Sherwood kind of the way they talked up Jamie Sherwood from Florida State. He was injured. The safety turned linebacker. They talked up a little bit too much. Now it's starting to make sense as to why. They're looking for some leverage on Saquon. They only want him back for $1 million. As we said, the Jets have about $25 million, including Q Will's $9 million on the books. So they're somehow going to figure that out. That was your question. How much am I weighing in on this Q Will situation? Look, he just had a kid. He wasn't gonna. There is no camp. He wasn't gonna come for camp anyway. That also makes me feel like it doesn't really matter right now. But also, Coach Saleh today specifically talked about how it's gonna get done, and they don't go out on a limb like that unless it's true. You know what I mean? They were doing weird stuff with Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, the owners coming out like, we want a veteran quarterback, and his name doesn't rhyme with Derek Carr. Like all right, man. So I'm happy with where the Jets are. I love that Clemens is bigger and he's going to be on the interior. I love that everybody's just locked in. I love that Ruckert, is being talked about. Curiously enough, though, and you alluded to it, but curiously enough, the one guy who hasn't been mentioned is Michael Carter, right, on the offense. Even Michael Carter on the defense, he just proposed, right? He's in the news. Of course, Sauce is all over the news. He had a little cameo in the new Madden, which Josh Allen's on the cover. But he was like in the opening video, so he was excited about that. Shout out to him. We got this guy, Dalvin Cook, man. Dalvin Cook, he's being rumored to come to the New York Jets as a quote-unquote surprise now, right? Like the Jets are the surprise team that's coming out of the woodwork. I find it interesting. The Jets have clearly been in the running for a backup running back at some point in the year. They did draft Israel from Pitt, so the back is set. Zonovan Knight, I've heard nothing about him since since OTA started. I'm assuming he's fine. He's just like last year, so he's there. They cut Ty Johnson. A little bit of issues there, but they cut Ty Johnson. Let's just leave it at that. Breece Hall does look good, but he's coming off of ACL. I haven't heard one thing about Michael Carter except he caught a pass from Strevler at OTAs, which something I've been learning ever since doing this and following the Jets and following all their preseason games. It's fun to watch the preseason games and the practices and to follow who's throwing to who, but you have to realize when Strevler's throwing to you, even though it's fun that you got a touchdown, it's bad that it's Strevler that's throwing to you. And with the Dalvin Cook news, with Michael Carter not being so much up to par with what the Jets are trying to run on offense, especially with what Aaron Rodgers has ever been used to as a running back. And then there's the connection with Dalvin Cook and Aaron Rodgers. Apparently they're friends. Apparently Cook wants to play with Rodgers. The only thing that's weirding me out is the rumor has it that it's going to be 10 to 12 million for a contract. That just doesn't sound like the Jets, especially when Leonard Fournette is there for $2 to $5 million. Kareem Hunt, $2 to $5 million. A bunch of running backs who could, I would say, fulfill a similar role, because we have to assume no matter what, Breece Hall should be the number one. You know what I mean? If Breece Hall goes down, I understand now. If we're talking, we want the workhorse, we need Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? And then Fournette or Cunt will be the two. Like, let's separate that there. What are your thoughts on Dalvin Cook? I'm assuming they're good thoughts. Except for you have the whole injury thing, with you and signing players. So I'm curious about your thoughts there. And what's about the 11 million, especially when we just talked about we have 25 million on the cap. Everybody restructured already, so the salary cap is real right now. The salary cap is so real. We've restructured everyone. We have all the dead contracts with all the dead money. It's over. This is what we have, and we have the Q Will thing with 9 million on the books right now, but we know it's going to be more.
Yeah, not a lot of money left in the couch cushions at this point. We found as much as we could. We scraped every dollar we could put together. I've been talking about Dalvin Cook for close to a month now, ever since the news kind of broke that he's going to be cut come June 1st. I mean, it's June 7th, so we're still waiting on it, but after the period that we expected after the draft. So, dude, I think there's a couple things you said that I kind of disagree with a little bit. I think he's a step above Fournette and Hunt.
Yeah,
I think that Dalvin Cook could be a starting running back and every down back still. I think that
I
those
agree
other
with
guys
that, but the thing is, we're going to pay 11 million if Breece Hall is there. I was saying if Breece Hall if he's out of the picture, right? Say God forbid he gets hurt, I understand why you're going to pay Dalvin Cook 11 million to be the horse. But if you're going to pay Dalvin Cook 11 million to be the number two, that just seems weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, Breece Hall has to get the most carries. Like there is he's looking for a second paycheck. He wants to prove that he's good off injury. Like, there is a little bit of that. I don't know if they're willing to really get 10, 15 carries and share them. Like, we saw how Breece Hall felt when Zeke Elliott was rumored. You know what I mean? He let it be known. That's my only worry.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Like, what's the last, like, I don't know if there's one right now in the NFL that you can, like, that comes to mind, but like great, like 1-2 combo punch running backs.
Well, let's keep it familiar and say AJ Dillon and oh my God. So now the starting running back,
Adams from Green Bay.
No, the starting running back. So Green Bay. Okay, we're absolute idiots right now.
Aaron
but it
Jones.
is the off season.
Aaron Jones.
Yes, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones and
Aaron
Dillon,
Jones, AJ Dillon. So the reason why
Zeke
Aaron
and Pollard.
Jones. Yeah, and the reason, in my opinion, so okay, those are two, I think, great examples on my end, because what my point is when you look at, I think a lot of NFL teams, maybe not, but I think a lot of NFL teams look at money spent by position group. So when you talk about these 1-2 punches, like say like when it was like Nick Chubb and Hunt in Cleveland, you're spending a lot of money on a 1-2 punch. When you talk about Zeke and Pollard's on a rookie deal, so he's getting paid little to nothing compared to Zeke. When you talk about Green Bay with Jones and Dillon, again, Dillon's kind of taking over the role, but he's a rookie deal, so he's getting paid little to nothing compared to what Jones is making. And it would be the same thing here. We have a veteran guy that comes in, could teach this running back room, because the running back room people aren't talking about is probably one of the youngest running back rooms in all of football. I mean, we have Michael Carter's the most veteran guy here. This is going to be his third season with the team. So everyone else is year two or they're rookies. So
it looks like we're 30th at the moment of running back spending capital in the NFL. 30 out of 32.
And dude, what more does Aaron Rodgers want than just a steady run game? And what more do we want as Jets fan? A steady veteran run game that we know we can move the ball down the field. I know we can do it with Breece Hall. I know Breece Hall was absolutely insane. But to my point, again, like I said, just take your time, young man. Don't worry about this season, especially the first half of this season. Let Dalvin Cook, the veteran, come in here and do his thing to start the season. Take your time and be healthy for the back half. Like, look at we were talking about it last season with Zonovan Knight, and he was coming out week 11, week 12, week 14 and hitting people because he had fresh legs. Robert Saleh talked about that, fresh legs. He was coming out and he was making an impact because he didn't play a ton in the first 6 weeks. he was healthy down the stretch when we needed him to make plays and, try to salvage our season. So if Breece Hall can be that guy instead of an undrafted rookie, I think we're in a tremendous spot. Dalvin Cook's knock, to your point and my point, is that he is injury prone and he usually misses time. Usually it's not a crazy injury where he misses the whole season. It's usually something that he misses a couple weeks and he comes back, but you never know when it's going to happen or what's going to happen. And that's my thing with this whole conversation, really with any position group at this point. With Aaron Rodgers here, you can't have one injury take out your team for the season. I think if Breece Hall goes down and we don't have someone to come in and fill in, it could really set back our chances at a deep playoff run. I know you talked about last week trying to sign someone mid-season and kind of fill in the role as we're going, which is fine. I think that's still an option if we can't get Dalvin Cook done. But if we can get Dalvin Cook signed, I think he's the head and shoulders above the other running backs that are available.
Yeah, it's just really an all-in move. I mean, if you look at last year's cap allocation, or I guess current active roster, we have the Titans, who are trying to get rid of Henry, right? We have Minnesota at number 2, who obviously is trying to get rid of Cook. We have Cleveland number 3, who have been struggling. They got rid of Hunt. And then we have Vegas at 4. They don't want to sign Jacobs, right? And then we have 5 Cincinnati, which we don't know what's going on with Mixon. We have 6 with the Chargers. They don't know what's going on with Eckler. We have 7 with the Giants. They don't know what's going on with Barkley. You know what I mean? Like there's a question mark almost for the top 7. That 8 is Dallas. Like I'm not scared of number 8. There also question marks. You know what I mean? So if the Jets were to say pay $11 million, that jumps us up to number 5. Like we're now the 5th highest salary at running back, which that means just we're all in. You know what I mean? Which is fine. We don't have a first round pick next year. Yes, a first round pick. We don't have that. I'm already assuming that Rodgers is going to play the amount of time to make it a first. We're going to make the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. And therefore, our second round pick is going to be low, right? All of our our remaining picks are also going to be low. So I understand it. We have Israel, like the rookie running back. We do have Bam Knight on the roster. Breece Hall is young, even though he did get injured. I don't see the big deal in spending. However, if you spend 10 to 12 million for Cook and then you extend Quentin Williams, we are talking about no more cash in the couch, dude. We are literally scraping for coins. Like Quan Alexander, everyone's gonna be a minimum from now on. We're gonna turn into like an NBA like salary cap team that could only sign vet minimums.
We talked about it last week, and I think people have been talking about it on Twitter now for a couple weeks now with Hopkins coming into the market and being available. Would you rather, if we're going to spend money at one position, would you rather spend money on Hopkins or the running back position and Cook or someone like Cook?
No, we're good at wide receiver, which is also what Treylon Burks said from Tennessee, where DeAndre Hopkins just visited Tennessee. He played with Vrabel, so there's a connection there. And then the Tennessee Titans, Treylon Burks, who was rumored to come to the Jets. Remember when we were drafting? Big yak guy. He's a big body. He tweeted that they're not interested, kind of what the Jets did with Zeke. And then all of a sudden we weren't interested anymore. So I don't know. DeAndre Hopkins looks like he can't find a home. Remember, even though he's looking for a big contract, right? I mean, there's precedent with running backs to not get a high salary. So like that's why 10 to 12 is a lot for Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? That's on the minimum for DeAndre Hopkins. If you can get DeAndre Hopkins for 10 million, yeah, sure, sign it. But he wants 15 guaranteed plus incentives, plus a long-term deal. It's a way different ball game.
I think he's like 31 now, and if you just look at the stats for people, wide receivers over 31, that's a tough sledding for those guys.
So some good news on that front though. The rumor to go to the Bills, that looks like it's out. They're making other signings around the defense. So they look like they're at camp. They're actually finding, their actual holes and filling them. So it doesn't look like DeAndre Hopkins is going to go there. The Patriots have been quiet. So we'll see what happens there. If he goes to the Patriots, then so be it. I could take that for 2 games, even though, Greg, I'm gonna be honest. I was talking to someone over this past weekend about the season. And someone was around who's going to Boston for med school. She just she just matched into Harvard, so she's gonna be there. And we were joking around about the sports. She's like, what do you hate about Boston? Like, what's your actual issue with Boston? Like, what's the problem? I was like, you don't understand. Like, just for the last 7 years, every year I go to MetLife Stadium and they beat me every single year, just with the Patriots. Like, just that alone, for the last 7 years, every regular season game I go to MetLife
Yeah.
and they beat us. Like, it's insane, dude. Like, just saying that out loud is insane.
Yeah, forget
So
Foxborough. Just come into our stadium every time.
yeah, just at MetLife, I'm there like an idiot, and they just kill us. Like, forget everything, just at home during the regular season. So it's I'm very excited for week 3.
Yeah.
That home game versus the Patriots. I'm very excited for week 1. I'm obviously going to be there. That Monday night game with the Bills. The Bills game was one of the best games I ever been to at MetLife, to be honest with you. And then the Dolphins game was second of last year. I mean, just unbelievable games. I'm really excited. We're going to be, you said, Greg, you said a little bit earlier, there's not really any, you're happy the Jets aren't in the news. I can't believe how much the Jets are in the news. Like, this is like, do you know anything about, the Houston Texans? If I wasn't following DJ Bieniemy, I wouldn't like seeing these CJ Stroud throws and kind of what's going on in Houston. Otherwise, nobody's talking about it. But every channel I turn to, they're asking about the New York Jets. How many wins are they going to get? What's the expectations? Rich Eisen, like, stop talking about the Jets, man. Just let's all stop. He's like, oh, I think they're going to make it to the AFC Championship and lose. Like, all right, man, just take it easy, dude. We're in June.
Yeah.
Like, you're already upset about something that didn't even happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the same like 8 questions everywhere you look, but it is all about the Jets. It's awesome to see. I mean, that's the Aaron Rodgers effect. Just to wrap up this Dalvin Cook thing, man, I just think he can be a great mentor. Hopefully, I don't know too much about him. He's been in Minnesota for however long he's been in the NFL, but seems like he could be a veteran mentor for Breece Hall, the way Aaron Rodgers has kind of been a veteran mentor to this whole entire organization. If we can bring him in and Breece can learn from him, because, I mean, Dalvin Cook was special, and so is Breece. So if they can, feed off each other, have an incredible 1-2 punch, I think it just takes the pressure off Breece Hall. He's a young guy, second year. Feels like, he might feel like he has to come in and prove something. Dude, just take your time, take it easy. We'll get the job done if everyone can stay healthy.
All right. Last question about the Minnesota side, though.
Yep.
When can I say I'm right about Dwayne McBride, the running back from UAB that they drafted? And he's gonna be a beast. What week you think? You think week 6? I'm gonna be able to count that, or when?
I think so. Do they still have Madison on that team?
Yeah, Madison's gonna be the starter. Everyone's gonna be hyped on Madison. He's gonna get drafted early.
That's a big dynasty guy for me for the last few years. I know we redid the dynasty league. I don't know if I still have him or not, but I'm praying I do.
Yo, Dwayne McBride, bro, watch out.
Yeah,
hop on Mojo, dude. Hop on Mojo and grab Dwayne McBride. I'm really excited about him.
Where did Sharp land from Tulane? Do you remember?
Oh, Tajay Sharp.
Yeah, Tajay Sharp. You're a guy out of Tulane. I loved betting on Tulane this season. It was like one of my favorite obscure college football teams. All about the Green Wave.
He went to he's in Tennessee.
Oh,
he's in Tennessee, and they're trying to get rid of Derrick Henry. It all makes sense, man. It all makes sense. It's going to be a big year for the running backs. All right, Greg, it is game 3 of the NBA Finals. I know you have the Stanley Cup going on. If you have thoughts there, let me know. But
I need the Panthers to win. That's my only thought.
Okay, you got a future there. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I have the Heat and the Panthers parlayed with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I have all Florida parlay going right now.
You're gross. Oh, you have the Dolphins too?
No, couldn't do that. Couldn't do that.
All right.
So.
All right. Tonight, I got a couple big parlays going. Maybe I'll tweet them out through your Winning P Weekly on Twitter.
Yeah, go reach out there.
But I think that the Nuggets are going to kill them today.
I think so too.
I think they're going to absolutely kill them. I think that Michael Porter is going to actually hit some threes today. Right? I think that Caleb Martin is going to continue sucking. He's going to regress a little bit from being Kevin Durant in the last 2 series. He's back to being Caleb Martin, which is fine. Gabe Vincent, maybe he's starting to be less of Drew Holiday, but I think he still is Drew. I think he just became Drew Holiday over this past couple days. But Duncan Robinson, he's not going to bail them out. Think about it, the Heat had one of their best games ever, and they were shooting unbelievably, and Denver's like up by 5 still, right? And then they had the unbelievable fourth quarter. So
Yep.
I know this is a Jets pod, but
And
it is
even in
NBA.
that unbelievable fourth quarter, Nuggets still came back and had a shot to tie it though in the last second. So like, even though they gave him one of their best, it's not their best shot because Jimmy Butler didn't go nuts. Like everyone else was doing really well. Jimmy Butler was playing okay. He's probably playing really good defense and letting the other guys cook on the offensive side. But
Yeah,
the Denver Nuggets were in that game.
I'm glad you mentioned that shot because that shot and the Jimmy Butler Eastern Conference Final shot last year or
Yeah.
2 years ago versus the Celtics. Though every time I watch the replay of both of those shots, I think it's going in. Every single time. I'm not like I'm just like, oh yo, that ball's going in, and then it just somehow, I don't know. It's this weird thing. I'm just like, it's like a new movie for me. Every time I see a slow-mo replay, I'm like, oh, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
I do like the bet for this game to go into overtime today.
Okay.
Do you think that Tyler Herro is going to come back? I guess we'll end it there.
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean,
dude, how do you not play in the NBA Finals?
because your hand is broken. You're a basketball player. I mean, I just don't know how effective you could be. It's like if you can do everything 100%, then sure. But if you're 80% or 70% because you have a broken shooting hand, then no, let these other guys cook because these other guys have been playing great. I mean, they're not. I don't feel like Tyler Herro is gonna. It's not like Kevin Durant might be coming back. It's like, yeah, Tyler Herro's good. Don't get me wrong, but Duncan Robinson's fine. Gabe Vincent's okay. Caleb Martin's okay. Like,
I mean, he's gonna be off the bench, taking up like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
he'll just cut into like Lowry a little bit. Maybe Highsmith won't get in.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's not gonna be anything crazy. He's not gonna be starting for Gabe Vincent or anything.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's the case, then whatever, that's fine. If he can give you good minutes. If you can't play good, then it's the NBA Finals, dude. Like, let this team try to win this.
My question to you about Jimmy Butler is: do you think his ankle's a real issue? Like we saw with
Yes.
Julius Randle, he got ankle surgery after he got like Knicks fans wanted to burn him at the stake, literally like punching his poster, freaking out, blaming him for literally everything, including this weather right now. It's probably Julius Randle's fault.
Yeah.
He was a little bit vindicated, and everyone kind of shut up about it because he had ankle surgery. Like maybe his ankle hurt a lot more than he put on. Do you think that's the same thing going on with Jimmy Butler? I saw some Heat fans kind of when Josh Hart went viral, which obviously with his breast milk thing, and then he's he's going to be a free agent too, so he's in the news a little bit. Kind of going at him because he's the one that injured Jimmy Butler's ankle. Like, do you think his ankle's a real thing?
Yes,
Or...
I think Jimmy Butler is hurt right now.
Okay, so the Nuggets are gonna win today.
I mean, yeah, I think Jimmy Butler's been hurt the whole time, though. I think he's been hurt. He was hurt for the Boston series. I think he's been hurt for the start of this series. Like, I just don't think he's.
Do you think it'll be 2-2 going back into Denver?
Yes,
that seems plausible to me.
Yeah, I think it would be 2-2, and then I think whoever wins that game wins the series.
Which would be Denver at home. They're not going to lose 2 games at home in a row. That's that. I don't think they did that all year. I have to look that up.
They definitely haven't done it in the playoffs.
Definitely not in the playoffs,
dude. I don't know the Miami Heat thing. I mean, obviously, I have the future on them, so I want them to win. I also have the
cash
Nuggets.
out.
No, I have 2 of them, and I should have cashed out 1 before the series started. Tampa Bay one was 10 to win 150. I could have cashed it out as it pays out 17 if it hits, 17,000 if it hits. The other one was 15. I forget who the baseball team is in it, but it was like $86. So I was like, I should.
Miami Marlins.
No, I can't do that. So, I was thinking about cashing that one out, but I was like, oh, maybe the Heat sneak a game and the Panthers sneak a game, and I could cash it out for like $200. And of course, they both got swept or both got stomped in the first game. So, yeah, we're letting them rock at this point. I did hedge a little bit. I took the Nuggets and the Jets in a parlay, and Djokovic in the French Open. So he's playing in the quarterfinals against the number 1 seed tomorrow or Friday, I think. So,
well, listen, you could also start adding Inter Miami in there.
Right? Yeah, apparently you
got
can.
Messi, so we'll see when he's gonna start playing. You could add him in there. But yeah, that's a little etc. here for this Jets episode. It is the summer. Is it officially summer? No, right?
Oh, yeah.
June. No, end of June.
End of June. Yeah, you're right. June to September.
Yeah, but right now we just have some wildfires from Canada to
Are
get us
you
started.
for summertime? Are you June to September, like the solstice, or are you Labor Day to Memorial Day?
No, Memorial Day, Labor Day, bro.
Right, and then Labor Day to Thanksgiving is the fall,
Yeah.
and
But
then
honestly,
Thanksgiving.
fall's been extending a little bit. But yeah, about Thanksgiving, but it's been extending until like early December.
Christmas.
Like I expect Black Friday to be a nice game at MetLife. Nice weather, Black
All right.
Friday afternoon. You know what I mean? If I can sneak in another December game, that'll be fun.
So to Christmas.
Yeah, but like December 17th, I'm going to Miami. That's winter. Like I want it to be
Okay.
freezing here and summer in Miami because I want Jets.
Could still be
Dolphins.
a little nicer. I'm trying to do holidays because then I'm trying to think. Then winter is Thanksgiving to March Madness. Like March Madness to me is like the depth of winter.
Yes, that's true.
And then from that point on, it's all spring.
Sports rules everything. Like,
dude, my calendar revolves around sports. Like I don't solstices, forget it. Months, okay.
Yeah, fall starts Labor Day. Yeah, sounds good. But fall really starts that first Thursday of football.
Yeah.
And that just happens.
For sure. It's just hot fall. It's just sweaty fall in SEC country when I'm watching Utah play Florida in the swamp.
Yeah,
But
that's the fall, dude. There's that. There's Yankees baseball ramping up for the playoffs.
Yep.
There's Knicks basketball starting up. You know, there's the Rangers getting hyped about them. Like that's the fall.
That's the fall. We get all 4 sports going. That's the fall.
And then we had the World Cup last year. That was unbelievable, man.
Yeah, that was kind of sweet. I don't know if they're gonna do it again, but that was kind of sweet timing.
Summer of 2026.
Damn.
What do you mean it's gonna be here? If the finals at MetLife, that's going to be insanity.
I know, but imagine if it was going on. Yeah, that's true. I guess you can't really do it during football season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps it up for this Off the Rails Jets episode on June 7th. One more week of OTAs, no mandatory camp. We all have off. Jets fans have off. The players have off, all because Aaron Rodgers came to work for these OTAs. We're good to go. Relax about the Jets. Don't freak out about every Connor Hughes tweet. For every Zach Wilson missed throw. Just chill. We're good. Hopefully Dalvin Cook comes. Hopefully Quan Alexander comes. We're basically good, dude. Dude, if those two things happen and we sign Will, like we're good. Everything
stay healthy. Set. Just stay healthy, boys.
All right, I love it. If you watched or listened to us on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. Just a comment. Let us know what you think about this Jets off season. If you're feeling comfortable with Dalvin Cook coming, if you'd rather not spend that much money, which is always a big topic. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Amazon, hit us with that like, hit us with that 5-star review, hit us with the 5-star rating and that review. Appreciate it. And if you're on Twitter at Meleka, at Winning P Weekly, at Knicks, Jets, etc. period. And that's about it for this week. We'll see you next week to kind of wrap up the OTAs, go into the off season. And man, I'm excited about football, dude. I am so excited. I'm so excited about the rookies of our team. I'm so excited about the rookies of the NFL. I'm so excited that we're an actual contender, top 10 contender in the NFL. That's unbelievable, bro. We're going to host a playoff game, Greg? Don't tell me we're going to host a playoff game because I can't even handle that in my life.
It would be lovely.
I'm hyped. Jets, Jets. Any last thoughts, Greg?
No, let's go Jets.
Let's go Joker. Sorry about your parlay.
What?
Let's go Joker.
For tonight?
I got Denver, baby.
Gross.